All right. Well, welcome to the sustainability team. We have two official members, Joe Daly and Mark Scully, missing a couple others, and we have our two fellows, Sustainable CT fellows, Thomas Bonitz and Sean Roach. So thanks for joining us, guys. So the first half hour, I think, and which we probably won't need the whole thing, but was for us to sort of pepper you with questions. So Joe, you said you've got a couple you want to lead off. This is not going to be an official meeting. We're not going to do minutes. We're not going to take any action.
Oh, Tim's here.
Here comes Tim. Now watch it. We'll get flooded with a little bit. Hey, Tim.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. So, Joe, you want to fire away?
Yeah, I just had two quick questions in the section 9. 9.2, the smart trash program. I read through it, and I understand it. It's like pay as you throw, and in Simsbury. I guess there's primarily two private trash haulers, and I know one of them offers you can get 3 different size barrels, a 95 gallon, 65 and 35 gallon. I'm not sure about the other provider. I haven't checked them yet. But does that in any way qualify under the SMART program?
Did you say it was a private company that was doing this?
Yes. Yep.
So unless there's like direct municipal support or some sort of like municipal initiative involved, then it wouldn't qualify for credit because it's just a company within Simsbury doing it, not the Simsbury government doing it themselves. Do you know if there's like a Simsbury government link to that program?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I don't think the town educates the consumers in any way that those options are available.
Yeah. Then I would say it probably doesn't qualify for credit.
Okay. And then the other question was on 9.4, the food waste prevention or food scraps recovery program. We're working on creating a program. It's sort of up and running, I guess, in its beta form, where a local supermarket and maybe 1 or 2 restaurants, I gotta check, they are gathering food scraps that they have, and they're being delivered to a couple of the local farms here in town, and they use them, as I understand it, to both feed some of the animals and also to compost some of the scraps. So I was just wondering if that would qualify.
I think it would be a similar thing to kind of 9.2, since it doesn't seem, at least from my understanding of it, that the municipality had any kind of contribution to the creation of that program. If the
the recycling committee started it.
Okay, if they started it, I think that could be considered underneath that, because it seems like one is more of kind of an educational prevention program, but I think 9.4.2 seems like it could fit under that one pretty nicely, I would say. Thomas, do you have anything else that you
Yeah, looking at the third bullet on the website, is support one or more schools and community. That's actually not school, but it kind of sounds like that. Just it's supermarket.
Well, it's supermarket and one or more restaurants. So, what we're doing is, we're actually preventing those scraps from going out in the trash.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth trying. It seems like it would sort of fit under that category.
Yeah, we can double check too, since it doesn't say specifically, since it says like schools and like curbside stuff instead of kind of restaurants. We can double check with the staff members and the reviewers to see if that would still count for that. But from like our opinion, it seems like it should.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
it true that some restaurants and supermarkets, if they produce a certain quantity of waste, they like are required by law to like transmit that through some waste recovery or some kind of program? Is that true?
I think
that I'm aware of.
that's the a new state regulation that if a restaurant, I believe makes 40 tons of waste, they have to bring it to a composting center. So that's different than this.
Okay, it's different.
Since they're bringing it to farms.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
did you say that was a rule for restaurants or a supermarket?
Both. That's a state regulation, I believe, that went into effect fairly recently, within the past year, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, because this is a supermarket and restaurants.
Yeah, and since you're bringing it to farms, that's kind of a separate thing than kind of what the state regulation is. So it should count, but we'll double check for you.
Okay. That was it. Those were the questions I had.
Your question about this activity, which is being carried out, by another group, makes me wonder about the pollinator pathway, 312. And we've got an organization in town called Simsbury Pollinator Pathway, and they're doing a lot of these things. But how do we need to demonstrate that it's not just a group of volunteers, but it's somehow managed or implemented or supported by the town?
Good job.
Yeah, basically you just have to show some sort of, if it's not on municipal property, so if the pollinator pathway is on municipal property, then that counts as kind of the contribution. But otherwise, you would either have to have kind of volunteers that are maybe town staff, giving some sort of support in really any sort of way to kind of the group through the creation of the pathways, even kind of like the maintenance, like you were talking about. Having some sort of support involvement if it's not on municipal property is how you would get credit for that.
Yeah, and that action also has like an education component that's required. So it's like reaching out and saying, this is the importance of this pollinator pathway and others like it.
Right, but that doesn't have to be the town employees doing the education. It could be.
So long as the municipality offers like support, like meaningful support in that effort, then yeah.
Right, it could be in town facilities, for example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even like a screenshot of the pathway on the website and like pointing out the group who did it and why it's good, etc. Stuff like that.
All right. Yeah, that's a good thing to keep in mind, is that I'm hoping that some of our activities are being done, in the community, but it needs to be tied to the town, to the municipality. So that's good to keep in mind.
Yeah.
We talked about this equity training, and I know we had some follow-up discussions, and it seems like to get this equity training, it's fairly challenging. For I know I asked a question, and we need to have, in order to get the 10 points for participate in equity training 1.2, we need at least 3 people, including 1 elected official, 1 higher level municipal staff member, and 1 resident serving on the sustainability team. So we got the sustainability team. The elected official could be, we have lots of elected boards and commissions. It could be one of those, right? So we maybe have a shot at that. The part that I think people are balking at is the higher level municipal staff, because they're all like busy. It's a 12-hour commitment. So that may be challenging for us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. It's a really great equity training. Thomas and I just started to participate in it now. But yeah, it does have to be a higher level management, because I mean, with equity, it's important to kind of have it be that top-down structure. If the people at the top leading the departments understand equity, then it'll kind of trickle down into the whole department.
And higher level, it says management and/or director level. So it
Yes,
doesn't
that
have
could
to
be
be
like department heads or town manager or something like that.
really, it has to be that high. Department heads or town manager.
Yeah.
Even like the deputy town manager wouldn't count.
We can double check. I'm not sure about that.
I'm not sure we can get her. She balked too, but even that might not. I mean, that's
If you have kind of positions that you think might fit for that, but aren't sure of someone who's willing to do that, just let us know and we can double check to see if someone kind of with whatever position they have would count for the equity.
all right. The Clean Energy Task Force just passed their an energy plan. Can we, and I know it's similar to what we submitted 2 years ago, and we got full credit then. Can we share this with someone and have them look at it, see if it's, is it too early to have people look at it and see if it's meets that's something you guys could do?
Yeah, we could send that to the like reviewer of those actions to see what they think of it.
I will send that to you.
This is the municipal energy plan you're referring to?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I think I had any other questions. So I guess while we've got you guys and Tim, we can just update Joe and anybody who watches this video later. We had some meetings this week on collaborating with other towns for these points for the watershed 3.2. And it sounds as though some work that the Farmington River Watershed has done will be, I don't know if it's sufficient, but it'll be a good starting point.
Yeah, that work will cover the first two parts of that action, A and B, except the town needs to provide a map of wetlands. That's the only part of A and B that's still missing, and that isn't covered by the FRWA stuff. And then Sean, do you want to talk about the part C, the stuff you found out after the meeting?
Yeah, so Amy sent a document that Deep completed for part C, which is the pollutant loads. And it seems like that would be sufficient to count for C. The only thing is, since it was created by Deep and not by the towns, it might not count in that way. So the way that has to count is either if the towns had some sort of involvement in the creation of that, which we aren't sure just looking at the document Amy sent, or if that like pollutant load map is applied in some way through like the policy on the website, whatever is being actively used in the town and its decision making, then if that is shown, then it should count for 3.2.1C.
Did you say something about wetlands or watershed?
Yeah, so Simsbury needs to provide a map of wetlands, and that's part of the parts A and B to show like the water resources in Simsbury in the watershed.
Okay, so because I thought I heard you say the Farmington River Watershed document covers A and B, but we need to do wetlands.
So it covers most of A and B. I misspoke initially, but there's the wetlands map is like the last part that's missing.
Okay, and then C is the pollutant loads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you have a document that. So maybe we take that offline. How we can work with that, or see that it's somehow been adopted, or we own it in town.
Yeah, we're still talking with Sustainable CT people about exactly how you can do that. So we're going to send out an email to kind of all the towns involved in the project about that and how exactly they need to show their contributions to it. So look out for that email, hopefully sometime this week.
And that could count for those 10 points plus partnering, right? Or collaborating with it.
Yep. And that would be 30 points because there's more than 3 partners. So it'd be like a 40-point package.
Right.
And then it also like opens up some easier actions in the watershed section that aren't as like technical and science heavy. So you could like open up those opportunities. So it's really a nice opportunity for credit.
Sorry, were those like the other parts of 3?
Yeah, the other parts of 3.2, they like follow from the inventory. It's like make a plan and then act
Right.
on it basically. So
Okay,
the inventory is really important to getting those other ones done as well.
All right. And Tim is leading our charge on that one.
Yeah, so what I just heard you say is that original document that we could piecemeal from the Farmington is can't be used because it was DEP or I just need to get a water, the wetlands separate.
So for A and B, so for 3.2.1, there's A, B, and C. So A and B that's completed except for the wetlands mapped. And you would need to get a wetlands map for that one. And then, sorry, that's the background. And then for C is what DEP created. And we are still working and coordinating with Sustainable CT staff to see how we can get that to count in terms of like showing Simsbury contribution to that to get credit for C. But we're going to send follow-up emails with more information about that later.
Got it.
Okay, thank you. And in terms of the partnering up with Burlington, I know Burlington was on the call before. Is this, we talked about at the end of the meeting, have a working document. Have we created that yet? Or are we working towards that?
What do you mean
You
by
recall-
working document?
I just thought at the end of the meeting, we concluded saying that we'd have a working document. I might have misheard it. If I did, we can skip what I just
I
said.
think that might be the DEP document.
Okay,
I think that's what we were talking about. John,
okay.
do you agree?
Or the FRWA document. That would be because that was kind of what we were all looking at on that call.
Well, yeah. We went over that document with all of the links to the FRWA maps and stuff.
Okay, yep. The Google Doc, yep.
All right. Well, I've got nothing else for our fellows. Thank you for joining us, guys. As always, you're very helpful. A lot of good information.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, we'll let you know. One of the things I'm just going to mention to the team now is we are hoping to combine our sustainability team with our clean energy task force. So what I'm going to propose is we start doing joint meetings. So our next meeting it'll also be on a Wednesday, but it'll be a week earlier. It should be a joint sustainability and clean energy meeting. So we'll let you know. But I think our equity coach was going to be here then too.
Oh, cool.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. We'll see
Hey,
you.
just one last thing. Mark, the POCD, you're familiar with that, right?
Yes.
On page 33 of the POCD, there's a natural resources map, and it has a color code for wetlands.
Great.
So
Yeah, that would work. One time we were working with did a map. They included the map for wetlands from their POCD, so that would work.
Okay.
I'd be shocked if we don't have one in town, but that's great to know it's right there, Joe.
Yep.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, guys. So anything else you guys got on? So the stuff you're working on, any?
No, I just want to start piecemealing it together from that last meeting. So hopefully have some workable stuff before our next one, just so we can see if we can start getting some stuff, like you said, in front of the CT. That equity thing is tough because I can't imagine that town officials aren't going through some type of equity training, but they keep saying it's got to be their training. I don't know if we can try and figure out a way to get them to take that back, but I guess they wanted their hours.
Yeah, I actually took those points off of our list here. This participant equity training, I don't think we're going to get that. I mean, that it's asking somebody like a Tom Roy or a Mike Glidden to do a 12-hour training, as busy as they are. But we don't have to get it, right? We can, if we can get, we need equity points, and if we do the optimize for equity, you need to do three optimize for equity to get silver. So at least we'll have something in the equity category, in category 1. So, so I just encourage you to take a look at this list. I think, we're going to get more done, I think, between meetings than during meetings. But we want to just kind of keep looking at stuff in here, and take on more activities. There's a bunch of things that we can do. I don't think this column is terribly reliable yet, but it adds up to 465. We need 400 for silver. I think that's a little unrealistic at this point, but you can see our totals by category, and you can see our totals by sort of whose name is next to it. So we've lost Danielle. We've got a bunch of actions that nobody, we don't know whether anybody's really championing. So take a look, see if there's stuff you're interested in doing. And are you all okay with a joint sustainability clean energy meeting? I know you are, Tim, because that means one less meeting, right?
Well, yeah, but I think they overlap pretty well, especially what we're doing right now. I think it's a easy grouping of the two.
It'll get us some more manpower too, I think.
Yep.
And are you all okay with the? I think it's the second Wednesday of the month. We're the third, right? So the second.
This is the third. Yeah. Wednesdays are fine.
Because what's nice is we have for Clean Energy Task Force, we have a secretary. So we've got somebody who's doing minutes and posting them. And so we don't need to duplicate that. And the plan is for this to be official, that we will formulate. There's other committees and boards that are being reviewed, and there may be broader changes. But I was told until that's official, just do joint meetings. So I think that will have several advantages. So our next meeting will be August 11th. The second Wednesday, August 11th. So let's give you guys some of your evening, and this is anything else you want to go through. Let's keep it.
I'm just going to use those. Really going to use the templates from the other towns to work off of.
That partnership points, that turns your 10 into 40 points by working with other towns. So
yeah, which is great. I mean, we should be working together.
Yep. I think there's other things we could do with collaborating with other towns too. So I'm going to give that some thought. All right. Well, thanks, Joe. Thanks, Tim.